Hey, it's Aaron with the Mowing in the Dark Lawn Care Podcast.
Hey, this is Tony's Lawn Care Talk.
Hey guys, Cameron here with the Lawn Care Life in Missouri.
Hey guys, this is Dan White with Lawn Care Unscripted.
What up guys, it's Phil with Phil's Lawn Care.
And you're listening to the Turf Nerds.
Greg, we're finally rolling. We were about to roll about 10 minutes ago before we were recording, and my computer decided to crap the bed, did it not?
Yeah, you had some issues there, and fortunately you were able to figure them out, and that's your gift, not mine. I don't know if I would have been able to figure out that it was what'd you say it was, the card? Your card reader?
Yeah, it was my graphics card. I have a NVIDIA GeForce 3060 Ti graphics card.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's your standard G60 35 card, yeah.
It needed an update, apparently. I update my card quite often. You know, they just came out with a GeForce RTX 5090 graphics card. It's like $2,000, Greg. Like, isn't that crazy for a video card for your computer? It's like $2,000.
How much was it?
They're about $2,000. I mean, I would want one, but it would be wise to get one. I mean, if I got one, I think Hannah would be pretty upset, but I would never do such a thing like that.
Yeah.
You know what Hannah would say? I come home, hey, honey, got a new card. She would be really mad.
I just got a new card. You just don't tell her how much it cost.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about kind of doing that, but then she would eventually just find out, and things wouldn't go off well, right?
See the credit card bill and go, what?
Yeah. Mine's the GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, which is a great card. I'm able to hook up a whole bunch of stuff to my computer, like I'm using my cinema camera guys to record our podcast, and I can edit quickly. I used to be a computer nerd back in the day, Greg, and now we're turf nerds, aren't we?
We are turf nerds indeed. Actually, we were going to look at maybe a potential new computer for me as well, but
yeah, that was the plan. But the problem is, Greg, I'm stuck salting and plowing snow. Quick shout out. So it is February 15th, and I was already out at 5 a.m. to about 9 a.m. salting with the buddies. We have another storm coming in, about 6 inches, that'll probably fall on the 16th or this Sunday. But a couple of days previous to that, Greg, I was out 18 hours. We had 3.5, 4 inches come in, and we did all my buddies' commercial lots. And then they let me borrow, Greg. They let me borrow their multi-force from my residentials, which was very nice. I just want to kind of rattle off some numbers here for you, Greg. So, okay, if you want to get a Toro 4-foot multi-force plow, just the plow, Greg, is $450. But you also need the plow side mount kit, which is $1,600. And then the weighted wheels, which is $605. So do some quick math for me there, Greg.
$2,400. So towards $3,000, $3,200.
That's about, let's say, 15. Here, rifle this off again. 1,600. 450.
450.
So
it's 2,000. Yeah.
And then 605.
605. So $2,700 basically.
Oh man! But guys, it is nice. I know Phil with the Think Green, non-existent podcast. We should play his drop here. Remember this drop?
Oh
Greg?
man, I gotta hit the gas station. I gotta hit the dumper.
Anyways, he's in with Toro, and he has a multi-force and a great setup. But Greg, it's awesome. You would really like to plow on the multi-force, Greg. But the problem is, though, it gets full of salt. I power washed off my buddy's multi-force the other day, and it was Rust City. That's the one drawback to it.
Yeah, that's not and those are expensive machines. How much is that thing? About $15,000 for a new multi-force?
Yeah, mine was like 14.7. Now they still go up. They're probably north of 15 by now. Mine's rust free and spotless. You know, if I got a plow for it, I would wash it nonstop. The problem is my buddies, they never really power washed it, 3 years ago when they got the plow on there. And that was the downfall. But we have the Echo spreaders, the salt spreaders, and I power wash those off all the time. There's not a single dime of rust on it. And the other attachment that I am getting for the multi-force and will be utilizing, Greg, is the mulch force, the mulch bucket, which we got a couple more weeks left until I'll actually get that, probably about 2.5, 3 weeks, but I can't wait, Greg, because honestly, I'm sick of the snow and I'm deprived on sleep, but we're getting this podcast out ahead of schedule because I'll be Lord willing, hopefully, God forbid, hopefully not buried in snow.
The multi-force might come handy if there might be a potential job I could have for one of my clients that wants to extend out in his backyard. He's got woods behind him and field area behind his backyard, and he wants to extend it out about 15 feet. And that multi-force might come in handy with that bucket. We could potentially get some soil in there and spread that out. That might be something we could take a look at.
That's the whole aim of the game. We're going to raise up the mulch prices and utilize it. Guys, Greg is adept at getting mulch jobs. He gets some good jobs. He gets some jobs that are a little bit difficult, but I got a buddy of mine who's going to print me out 250 flyers for $99, and they're going to be really high quality, and I'm going to pick off my neighborhoods that have high quality paying clients. Hey, Greg, let's get this out of the way. Speaking of high quality paying clients, if you guys want a high quality paying client, I think they should sign up with Green Frog Web Design, because I heard Ezra, didn't he recently make a website for the Raleigh Spencer, Greg?
He did indeed, and Raleigh was pretty excited about it. He sent it to me, and it looked really nice. And I said, hey, we're going to have you on the show. Let's get some feedback from you on how well it worked out. Actually, we should have him on the show just to say, hey, how easy was it just to work with Ezra, and get that. That's a good idea. We should have him on for a couple of minutes, just talk about that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the show this past September, and then we got so busy. But I almost said Ezra, but Raleigh is the lawn care pastor. Ezra is actually a pastor as well. But check out, I think it's spencerslawncare.com, guys. Ezra made him a one-page website. I hope I'm not getting too ahead of my skis, as the great Dan Bongino would say, but I think if you talk to Ezra, guys, he could make you custom websites of even one page, because I was really impressed. Like, weren't you impressed, Greg, how all the information was on one page and it was legible and it was to the point?
It was. It's a really nice page. I took a look at it on my phone, and yeah, you're right. It's spencerslawncare.com, but it's a really sharp looking website. And he's doing some headstone. He just added headstone cleaning, so that's something that you can consider doing, guys. Sorry if I'm looking down. I'm looking at my my screen on my phone just to see what it looks like. But it's a neat looking website, and what he did on one of these stones is amazing. How well he cleaned it. So, but yeah, I was real impressed with it, and he's real excited about it as well.
And we are also excited about the Turf Nerds Equip Expo discount code, all one word, guys. And if you want a free sticker, shoot me an email at turfnerdspodcast@proton.me. Greg, before we talk about 15 trees that you should never grow in your yard, we're doing a kind of a different episode because it's a low of winter right now, guys. And there's only so much mowing we can talk about because we're not mowing yet. Let's hop into one of our favorite segments here, the Uncle Greg's Gregariousness. And now it's time for Uncle Greg's Gregariousness.
Hello, this is Greg.
Really? Well, this is going to be a short and sweet one, Evan. It's going to be something I'm picking on you about, because you had sent me something. I had sent you this, and then you replied back, and this story that we're going to talk about today, and you took it and you summarized it. You put it on Grok, which is pretty cool. But you replied back to me and said, hey, here's a concise bullet point summary of the family handyman article, which I would have thought concise. Usually short was pretty good for bullet points and or summaries. So you got a triple negative kind of thing going on in there. So just had to ride you a little bit on that one.
That's a good one. Whoa. Greg, you've won this segment of Uncle Greg's Gregariousness, because we still got the song still playing. I used speech to text, and sometimes it doesn't come out the right way. Yeah. And then also, the double negative. Grok is a great way to get things summarized. But you got me there, Greg.
It reminds me of it was redundant. So it was. Years ago, I was watching an episode of Cheers, and Frasier was talking to Diane, and she was saying something came up, and she says, oh, Frasier, don't be redundant. And he says, oh, I'm redundant. I repeat myself. I say things over and over again.
I tend to do that sometimes because I like to be an affirmation guy and get the point across. But Greg, why don't we dive into, because I know we got a lot of different listeners just doing a different episode. We're talking about trees, but this can be pretty relevant to us though too, Greg, because you would say, because you're the one who pitched this idea to me, because first I was like, but I'm like, this can be fun because we're going to add drops into each tree. This can be pretty applicable to anyone who mows grass or looks at trees, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I looked at in this when I saw it. Is there's certain trees that I hate mowing around. If I see them in the yard, I'm almost to the point where I might not even quote them, and just because I dislike those trees so much and they're in the way so much. But I was looking at this, and oftentimes we'll have. Yeah, I'll have people come up to me and ask me, I was thinking of getting a new tree. Do you have anything you would recommend? Or would you be interested in planting some trees for me? And so I've kind of looked at it, and I thought this might be interesting because I'm sure there's other guys that are probably having opportunities to put stuff in plant trees in yards. But this was more the trees to avoid. And this was an article that I saw out of the Family Handyman. And trees you should never grow. What was the title of the article? Trees you should never grow in your yard. So 15 trees you should never grow in your yard. So.
Ooh, not 14, but 15,
yeah,
right?
It was 15. Apparently that 15th was nasty. So
it was very nasty. Well, the first one based off when I've had it re-summarized with Gronk, Greg, was the silver maple. I've seen this tree a lot. We mow around a couple of these trees, and I didn't realize how nasty they actually were.
I do not like the silver maple. It is not a tree that I enjoy. When I see it in the yard, it's usually really bad. And what it comes down to is it's a really nice shade tree, and it grows fast, and that's why people will put it up. But I tell you what, there's a couple of things about it that I really hate. You want to say what those are?
Well, it says that they're messy, weak wood, invasive roots, and apparently, guys, they do a whole lot of damage to a property.
That's a lot of damage.
No, we don't want that, right? Usually with the shade trees, right? They end up just sucking up all the moisture from the soil, and then the grass doesn't grow there either. So silver maple, we should put the pictures up here, guys, but that's just too much work. It's the silver maple. Think of like a maple tree, but then almost like the trunk and everything is kind of like a bare, like a really bare, like bare maple with no bark, right? Like that'd be a good way to describe it.
And it's like a silver wood. And I believe that's where they just get the name on that, because usually in the maple trees, they kind of associate like a red maple tree. It's got red leaves and redder leaves, I guess. And but the silver maple, I think it correlates with the wood. But I hate those roots in the yards, and it's like being at a going over moguls. It's just so bad. I hate riding over those things, and they get in the way. You can catch them with your blades. That messes everything up, and then you got that awful sound when you hit them. So silver maple trees, do not recommend it for any of your clients, guys.
Well, the next tree I don't recommend, Greg. I'm going to play this sound. I think it's kind of appropriate with the weeping willow. This is what I say when I have to pick up all the limbs from a willow tree, guys. They are nasty. I mean, Trump would say they're nasty. I should find the Trump nasty drop. But I've had several lawns where I'm mowing, and Greg, you've seen it. The maple limbs fall down. They're like 7, 8, 10 feet long, and they're everywhere. I have nothing positive or good to say about a weeping willow aside from they look pretty.
Yeah, they look really nice from a distance. I guess even close too, but that's the tree that I will probably, if I see it in the yard, I'll probably tell the person I'm not quoting the lawn. And it's just, like you said, the branches, they're real weak, they fall, they're messy, and especially if you got a small yard, it's not good. The roots get into the system. It's just, I don't have really much good to say about a weeping willow tree. I do cry when I see it, just like that guy did.
The next tree we got, Greg, is the mulberry. I kept forgetting that there's actual berries on a mulberry tree, and I'm pretty sure they're edible berries, but I have seen these guys. Think of like a tree that's got like raspberries on it, but it's more than just a raspberry. they don't really get in my way per se, but they have messy standing fruit, which that's true if you get close to really any sort of tree that's got like a messy fruit like this, like certain like these like mini, I guess almost blueberry trees, and I brush up my back against them and it stains my shirt, and it's just a big fruity mess.
This
is a fruit song apparently. So, I guess this is. What is that? That's a little too loud. Hold on. What is that?
This is a flute song? I forget the name of the song.
I'm trying to do live mixing on the air.
Yeah.
This song sounds familiar, but it's kind of like that fruity mulberry. What is that children's story with a mulberry, right?
I don't recall it.
Music.
Yeah. You know what's funny about this? I've been looking at the article and from Family Handyman, and they said, yes, the fruit is edible. It's actually not bad, and you can make a nice pie with it. It's just you got to add a lot of sugar to it. But here's the one thing: is it gets is the birds. We used to, when I was years ago, when I was painting with this guy outside, I was doing some part-time work at a church as a youth pastor intern, but I helped this guy. It was only 20 hours a week, and I'd help this other guy paint. He hired me to help him paint outside. And there was this one car that he had. We used to call it the mulberry car because he always parked it under the mulberry tree, and we'd be painting along, and all of a sudden you'd hear a boom, 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 all these mulberries.
That's funny.
All these mulberries falling out of the guy's car. And so we always called it the mulberry car. But it can be messy, and it can be kind of slippery too. It's an issue, but it's what did they say? It's
also stains patios and decks.
Yep.
Which I doing fall cleanups, guys, leave stained decks, but I've seen tree fruit stained decks as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty tree, but if you want to keep it short and keep it trimmed up and get your berries out of it, you could do that. But other than that, you probably don't want it in your yard.
The next tree we got, Greg, is the ginkgo tree, and I think ginkgo is a supplement you can take that's great for your brain. And now that I see the picture of the berries that it has, it's basically they're male ginkgos, and apparently the issue trees, the females can also drop smelly, messy fruit. So you don't want any smelly and messy fruit while you're mowing, right? I guess. There's so many smells like when you're out mowing, but at the point, Greg, where I think we're well over 100 episodes in with you and I can't smell a darn thing now. I think there's something wrong with my sinuses. I should probably get, as I said, go to the allergist or allergist.
I would consider going to an allergist. I speak highly of them, but the berry is kind of, I don't know if I've seen any ginkgo trees. I don't know where they grow, but it's kind of a walnut looking fruit. I guess when you're looking at the picture, like a combination of a chickpea and a walnut. It's just kind of a funny looking one. So, but apparently it's nice in the fall, but it's really messy, and smells like vomit. There we go. When it starts to rot.
That's nice. All right, Greg, the next tree that we got is the ash tree. Think of, guys, if I can give you a good descriptor, think of almost looks like a maple tree, but just reddier. And apparently they're saying with the ash trees that they're a popular shade tree, many variety, and they're susceptible to an ash borer, which is a costly treatment. So you know what that means, Greg? Money. Who wants to have the tree, treated? It'll cost you a lot of money. Thank you, Mr. Krabs. But I think this ash tree is almost like a weed tree. It's not very pretty.
We had an ash tree in our yard, but in Michigan, they basically told everybody to cut down your ash trees because of that emerald ash borer, and it was tearing up. And then I had one that we had in our front yard. That one day I was in the family room talking to one of my sons, and then all of a sudden somebody else came downstairs and said, "Did you guys hear that?" And we said, "No, what are you talking about?" And he looked outside, and this was a big tree that we had in our yard. There was a branch that broke off on our tree that was the size of another tree, and it stretched all the way to the road, and people were coming by.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was huge.
Really?
Yeah. Really. And the neighbors were coming by and looking at it going, it's just a branch that was huge. And so had to get that taken down. And the tree guy, when he came out, he looked at it, the rest of the tree, and he said, you got a problem here. You just got to just take this whole thing down. So.
Well, speaking of problems, Greg, the next tree that everyone knows, the cottonwood tree, that needs no explanation, and we got some good music for that, right? You know, everyone knows this song. If you've never been to a wedding or live under a rock. Okay. One thing about the cottonwoods, though, Greg, and what we need to do for our mowers, though, too, is clean your air filter. The air filter has a little hole. It sucks air in, sucks the cotton in, and you can blow up an engine if you never clean out your air filter. I hate cottonwood trees. It depends on the weather. They could start early and blow everywhere all throughout the neighborhoods. They call it the summer snow. Greg, I have nothing good to say about a cottonwood tree.
I had a client that he was running his air conditioner, and I went and knocked on his door and said, "Do you want me to blow this off?" I said, "You've basically got a T-shirt on your air conditioner. It was sucking up all that cottonwood. It looked like a T-shirt wrapped around his air conditioner. So it was that bad." And then the guy across the street was even worse. And it was, but on his, it was in his yard. It looked like snow had pretty much covered his whole yard. Now, the upside of that is I don't spend a lot of time, double cutting, triple cutting just because of the cottonwood. That's not my fault. So that's the nice part.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I'm not taking care of that.
Next tree, Greg, the black locust. I think this tree is in the Notebook. There's a not historic, popular scene in a movie where they have all these big overhanging trees. They're really tall. Maybe that's not exactly what it is, but they're big trees. I do mow in this neighborhood, and it's called Green Hill Woods, and there is some black locust trees. It says for this tree, it's a fast growing. It's apparently, guys, it's valuable for wood, and it's a honey source, but value is good. So cut the trees down and make some money, right?
Yeah, well, I've actually got a neighbor that planted. He's got some property up north. He planted black walnut trees in his on his property, bunch of them, and he's letting them grow and he's trimming them as he go because apparently black walnut's really expensive. I didn't realize black locust was valuable as well. Those
walnut, is it, Greg? The wood, like the tree, could be worth like $15,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and what he's doing is he's being real smart. He's trimming the branches, the lower hanging branches, so that it's going to be a long, straight tree. So it's going to be really valuable because you're not going to have a bunch of knots in it and stuff. So, once it gets to a point where he can't trim anymore, he's done. But he said in 50, 60 years, his kids are going to have a small fortune on their property. So...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Greg, the next tree, based off this picture, it looks kind of like an arborvitae, guys, but I think this tree has more of like a trunk to it. But apparently this Leland cypress tree, which is kind of a funky name, is great for privacy.
Can't a man have a bit of privacy?
Yeah, it does look like an arborvitae, and it looks like it could be kind of neat, but it does apparently grow very large and is prone to wind damage, disease and drought. It says here. They're a nice looking tree. They, like you said, you get some privacy. You got a built-in privacy screen, but they do get large.
I don't know if it's you, Greg, but I think a lot of my clients do have either the Leland cypress or the arborvitae, because I've mowed through like arborvitaes, and they're a great privacy fence. But these trees, they are not cheap, are they? I don't think they're cheap. They're quite a pretty penny, and they better survive. Because lately, guys, I don't know if we got guys who do more pruning, but some of these box bushes, Greg, haven't you noticed they've been dying? Like some invasive species of like a beetle been coming through, kind of eating the tinier bushes.
I've noticed that. I've got some that I've seen that they look pretty worn out. So that's a problem. You're going to have to yank those things out and start all over again. But I've got a couple of lawns that have some stuff like that. But I'll just make sure that I don't plant any of these trees in place.
Well, I'm not. Hey, Greg, the next tree, I don't think we get this around here. The Russian olive, and I got some fitting music for this. This is an old song that
has the word olive in it is that's just enough for me not to ever have it. So I hate olives. I wonder if you could use these olives and squeeze them or something. If it'd be extra virgin olive oil or something.
This might be a tree in the South, though. I mean, I don't know if I've seen this type of tree around. And since we're in Michigan, guys, and I mean, we mow through a lot, but I don't think I've ever seen a tree like this in my mowing routes. This might be a tree that's more in the South, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it says it's common in tough climates, drought tolerant. So I guess that would probably be South, or Southern.
They say it's also invasive too.
Yeah. You don't like those invasive plants.
Oh, I don't. I mean, we already have enough invasive grasses. Like, guys, a lot of the lawns that we mow, it's not all just grass. It's like 60% grass, Greg, right? And the 40% is just weeds.
Mm-hmm. I've got one of my clients has, speaking of invasive grass, one of my clients asked me one day, Greg, what is this grass here? Excuse me, I'm sorry. He's got... he's got his Kentucky blue, and all of a sudden he's got, and I don't know what kind of grass it is. I haven't figured it out yet. He's got this new grass that's coming in, and it's just terrible. And it's patchy. It's coming in patches in his yards. I think it came over from his neighbor, and so now he wants to figure out how to take care of it. And I said, here, you can get this. I said, I'll come out and scalp it for you. I forget what it was. Somebody had recommended it to me. Steve from Rhino Seed had actually recommended this stuff to me. That he said, yeah, you just scalp it down and then put this stuff down, and then that'll take care of it. And then you can replant grass seed after about a month or so.
Greg, the next tree that they're telling people not to never grow is the Bradford pear. I used to work at a produce store back in the day, and I don't think we sold these pears, but they don't look like. Apparently, this pear from this picture doesn't look like it can be a very big pear.
Shout out to all the pear.
Some of these drops.
What was that again? I didn't.
Shout out to all the pear.
Shout out to all the pear. I don't know. I'm trying to find drops related to trees. This was a crapshoot.
Yeah, that one's interesting. Well, the Bradford pear is, I don't know if you know, it's been banned in some states because we were talking about invasive a minute ago, but the Bradford pear is apparently very invasive. Really? Yep, really. And Ohio, I looked it up. Ohio, South Carolina, and Pennsylvania have banned it, and other states are considering banning it because they don't want that tree. It's very invasive. So that's one thing that you got to avoid. We had a bunch of Bradford pears in our neighborhood, and they for whatever reason the landscapers were coming through and they were telling people to put the Bradford pear up. And so I think most everybody that had them have cut them down.
Well, that's good to know. Hey, Greg, the next tree is the tree of heaven. Oh, what more fitting music than this? Apparently, it's a glorious tree. I think it's a weed tree, guys. Have you ever seen those trees that just have a bunch of helicopters on it? Based off of this picture, it's honestly just a weed tree, and it's common in urban areas. It grows fast, highly invasive, hard to eradicate, and a rapid spread. So It's basically a weed tree. I mean, what'd you say?
Yeah, I would say exactly the same thing. It looks like a weed tree to me. I can't imagine why anybody would plant it. It's just not, and it's just not a good tree to have in your yard. So it's I don't even know if it's that pretty because of the I guess it looks like the berries that are on there or the fruit that it bears, and that's why it's so invasive too with all the fruit that's on there, for lack of a better word to describe them. And I would imagine the birds come in and then carry that away and then poop it out as their travels. So
another tree that we got, Greg, is the Siberian elm. Yet again, guys, this picture of a tree that has like really kind of green leaves. They're just like super green. It looks kind of ratty. I wonder what I did for. Oh yeah, Freddie.
The only thing to fear is fear himself.
I guess because it's Elm Street. I couldn't find anything Siberian related though. But I don't know if anyone. This has to be a weed tree. Like I don't know, like any client who would be like, I want the Siberian elm in my backyard.
I don't know why. So it's just one of those. And again, this is that thing that when you got somebody that's talking to you about what to plant, you guys, this is your reference back. You know, let me go back and listen to that show and let's see what we don't want. So this is just not a tree. It looks like it's like a weedy tree as well. It just doesn't look like it. It's not a nice looking tree.
No, not at all. Greg, the next one, we have the Norway maple. Picture a maple tree, guys, but really, really big, really big leaves. Apparently this is that kind of a Norway tree. I don't know what this, I've heard of this song from something, but it kind of just, this picture in your mind's eye, just, it's like big trees. So this is the Norway maple.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Norway maple or not. So I'm trying to find the picture. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, I've probably seen that Norway maple. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And but it looks like it just gets that huge dense canopy, and that makes it so that you can't grow any grass in your yard. I've got actually a client that might have one of these in here, and it's just there's no growth under the tree at all.
We got 2 more to go, guys. We'll kind of rattle these off. Okay, I'm going to butcher this, but it's not on the list here, but maybe they're just referring to it as a different name. Eucalyptus tree?
Eucalyptus.
It's a fast... Eucalyptus, man, I can't even, you can make fun of me, guys. You talk about some drops, just go pull up my mispronunciations. It's a fast-growing, aromatic, common in warm climates, so this is probably a southern tree, and apparently it's fire in the hole! So, well, yeah, with burning trees, that just watch out. They're hard to remove, and they're aggressive growth. Like it sounds like a weed, right? I mean, it's clearly a southern tree.
Yeah, what's eucalyptus used for? I can't remember. Eucalyptus. Let me look that up.
I don't know what it's used for. Is it like a supplement?
It's a supplement.
Maybe it's like found in tea or something. I have no idea.
Treating respiratory problems, reducing pain, and repelling insects. So I guess, and if you drink it and cough, that'll keep the insects away as well. So
that's good.
I knew it was used for, I couldn't remember what. Dilating blood vessels is also apparently beneficial, which that would help. So if you're having a heart attack, take some eucalyptus. Reduces pain. Eucalyptus oil. I'm trying to think. Somebody advertises eucalyptus oil for their pain relief. So, but that's all you can use it for.
Now that you say that, I think the tea that I was drinking, this Echinacea Immune, had eucalyptus in it. And finally, guys, the last tree that we got is poplar, or the Lombardy poplar tree. And I've seen this tree before. How do you describe it? They're kind of like just a tall single file tree, if that makes sense. It just grows straight up, and it looks like the leaves are kind of like circular. And it's kind of, like I said, kind of a ratty tree. It's a fast growing tree. So it looks like they shoot. It looks like they shoot right up, and the rapid growth leads to large size, aggressive roots, damages structures. And we've known that, Greg. Trees damage driveways. They damage the grass. They can damage your house. It's as you said before. You actually rescued a client or saved a client's driveway because wasn't there a tree or something growing into the driveway and you noticed it?
No, it was washing away the angle of their. It was the angle of the water that would come down, and it was slowly washing away under the driveway. And that was, and if we talked about it before, it was probably about 6 feet into the drive underneath the cement pad. There was 4 inches of no soil underneath it. So they had to pump in. They had to bring somebody in and pump in a bunch of probably sand or something just to solidify it better. But yeah, it was just washing away. But no, I've seen where people's trees have started growing into their basements and destroyed the foundations on their house or the basement walls. So it sounds like that poplar tree wouldn't be very popular for somebody's basement. How'd you like that? Did you like that?
That was good. And on that note, I got really nothing else to say. I hope that was all 15, Greg. At least based off of what Grok summarized for me, guys. We hope you enjoyed this different episode as Greg and I we're both just going crazy about wanting to get back out there mowing. We have a special guest coming on. It was supposed to be for this episode that's released, but it got pushed back because my schedule's crazy. So that's just the way it is, Greg, right?
Yeah, we've got another really good guest coming on, and this is something I've been trying to find for someone I've been trying to get on the show for a long time. So this is going to be, I think, beneficial, important for our listeners out there.
Guys, thanks. Rate the show, and wait, you have to do the obligatory.
Hey guys, it's Cousin Kenny.
Drop. Hey, Kenny, I'm sure. Well, I just muted myself. I'm sure Kenny appreciates that. Thanks, guys.